My name is Kevin Davis.
All right, Kevin. Okay, we're here now to interview you based on the fact that you you changed your gender, right?
Um, it would be more of a case where I change my identity because the gender is something that you were given at birth, and for me and my understanding of my gender, I felt like I was given the wrong gender at birth due to the societal norms in Jamaica where I was born. So, because I was born with feminine parts, they gave me the female gender.
Okay. What was your birth? What was your given name when you were born?
Uh, as it relates to my given name, like, to be honest, I don't use that name. Like, it's been years since I haven't used it because I was never comfortable in using it. And where this interview might go, for personal reasons, I choose not to
Not to.
use my
You choose
previous
not
name.
to. Okay.
Yes, I hope you
No
understand.
problem. That's not an issue. So Kevin, I'll address you as Kevin, right?
Yes, please, and the male pronouns.
Um. Perfect. When when did you realize that you weren't born as you said a while ago, you weren't born as the right gender? When did you realize that? At what age?
I could say from in kindergarten, very early, basic school as we call it in Jamaica. From I was in basic school, I know that something was different about the way they see me and the way I see myself or how I feel. So I could say between 3 and 6, because kindergarten is between 3 and 6 years old, somewhere there.
So from as early as that age, you realized that something wasn't right.
Yes, so I was always acting very boy-like, and then my family and my friends would think that I was just a tomboy.
Okay. I won't ask you what community you're from for
Yeah, so
reasons
privacy
of
reasons, privacy reasons.
birth, right? How did your family react to this change? What was
Uh,
the reception rather?
some of them are still in awe, some of them are still in shock, some of them has not yet come to terms with me for who I am. One of the reasons because they're very spiritual. I was raised very spiritual, and their upbringing, their spiritual beliefs, they some of them tend to not want to face the reality that I am a trans man, and I am, like, for the most part, it's all masculine. Everything about me is masculine. I wouldn't even say for the most part, everything about me was masculine, is masculine. Where they are concerned, some of them accepted, some tolerated me, and some just choose not to deal with it because, like I said, for spiritual reasons.
Do you have persons in your family who stopped talking to you because of this?
Uh, just a few. Uh, I would say they limit the communication. I wouldn't say like in malice per se, but they would limit the communication. Sometimes there's something that they would want to say to me, and they just send the message through somebody else. So it's as if I
Okay.
feel like I'm being treated like an object. I'm just placed there and I don't move if they don't say move. If nothing is important to talk about, then no communication is necessary, which is okay with me because I don't want to entertain too much negativity around me while transitioning.
Okay. When did you leave? You no longer live in Jamaica, right?
Yes, I live in Canada.
Okay. You say you're all masculine. Can you explain to me, or can you give me an idea of what were the procedures that you did?
Okay, so where transition is concerned, the definition of FTM, which I am, female who transitioned into a male, it's basically for me, my definition, Kevin's definition, syncing my body with my brain. Other persons don't go through the surgeries because mentally you transition. There are 3 stages to transition: mentally, socially, and medically. I have transitioned socially. I have transitioned mentally from ever since because I was always acting and living my life as a male. But now I'm doing the medical procedures. I've already done the mastectomy surgery, which is a top surgery, and I am on the HRT, the hormone therapy, and
Mhm.
the testosterone. Basically, I've been taking testosterone for 20 months, which is a year and 8 months. So my body has enough testosterone in me that is enough as an average male, practically my age or maybe a few years younger.
Okay. Before, while you were living here, what did you do? What profession were you in? Are you in the same profession now?
I was a secretary at one point in time, and then I never felt like that was my calling. I hate being the girly girl dressing up in heels and stockings and nails. It was never my thing. So I joined the police force, the Jamaica Constable Force, and I served for 6 years before I migrated to Canada. And now in Canada, I am working as a counselor slash social service worker, a peer educator, activist, and an advocate for the LGBTQ community as also the HIV community.
Okay. What about your friends' reaction? What about their reaction to this change?
Them's a good friend better than pocket money. So the friends who were my friends then, I would say 9 out of 10 of them are still my really good friends. For the if I should put a number to it, for the 9 out of 10, for the 1% that we're not close anymore, like I said, some of them are because of religious belief or their personal beliefs that they don't think that this is right or this is okay, so they just phase out. But for the ones who still support me, we're still good, we're still strong, we communicate regularly.
Another question for you. Did you have any children or anything before this?
Yes, I had a daughter when I was in Jamaica, and now I am a father to our second child.
Okay, so you do have children then.
Yes, I do.
And what is the children's reaction to this?
My oldest daughter, she's very much open and in sync with all that's going on. She supports me full 100. She lives with me currently in Canada, or presently in Canada. Yeah, we've been living together since I came here. She came after me, and the reception is wonderful.
Okay, so just another question. How long have you been in Canada now?
Uh, 6 years
Six
since
years.
2014.
So when did you do these procedures? Was it 6 years ago? I mean,
No,
you don't do everything as yet. Then I
not
know, but
everything is fully completed. I still have more to go, but I started
uh-huh.
the medical process 2 years ago. So the mental process was within the 4 years prior to the 2 years now, because I've been here for 6 years, right? So within the first 4 years, I started coming out slowly, started accepting me for who I am, started living my truth, and then I did my counseling, and now I'm doing the medical aspect of it. So the medical
So
aspect of it started the last 2 years.
okay. Another question for is there at any moment in your life or at any moment in time you ever felt like you'd go back to being how you were born?
No, because if you speak to the fact that I was given the female body parts, and if I would ever go back to living my life being feminine, no, the possibility doesn't exist. And we're, if I should give a little insight to what the LGBTQ community is about, a transgender, whether they're masculine, feminine, or non binary, some people would say gender fluid, you are free to date who you want to date, regardless of how you dress or who you are as an individual or how you identify. So even if 10, 15 years from now, which I hope and I don't want to, I don't see it happening, but for any reason, me or any trans person would revert to go back to being with men, it doesn't mean that person is as reverse transition and return to being a female or the feminine or the submissive person then, if you understand me. So no, the
Yes.
possibility of me going back to being feminine does not exist. And if whatever happens inside the bedroom is just that just speaks for itself. But presently and for the rest of my life, I know I'll be dating born women, cisgenders.
Okay. I'm not. I don't know if I asked you this, But at what age did you realize that you were gonna change your gender?
Uh,
But then you realize that I need to just get this over with.
okay, so the question you asked before was when did I know I was different, or when did I know I was in the wrong gender. So this question is somewhat different. If I should answer that honestly, I would say I knew I wanted to sync my body with my brain at the age of about 33 after coming to Canada. So yes, I wanted to do it from I was living in Jamaica, but because I know the resources were not there and I never had access to all that knowledge, so I was always saying to myself, I feel like a man trapped inside of a woman's body. And anytime I'm able to afford the transition surgeries, and anytime I'm in the atmosphere or the environment that welcomes me to be who I am, then I'm definitely gonna come out and just transition. So that would be somewhere in my 20s prior to coming here. And then after I came here and I learned about the resources here and the different services that I could get access to, then I decided to transition fully. So somewhere between the ages of 24 and 33. But I came to Canada when I was 33.
Okay.
So
Was this one of the reasons you moved to Canada?
definitely, it was one of the major reasons why I came here.
Okay. Because of as you said, the resources weren't here.
The resources, also Jamaica is somewhat very homophobic, and a lot of them are not knowledgeable or even accepting of trans persons. So it was hard to stay in Jamaica and live my truth without having to go through the different discriminations, etc. There were more than one instances where my life almost came to an end. I was attacked on more than one occasion, and even though I was a part of the police force, I never get the help I needed. So I had to leave. I narrowly escaped death. So I had to leave for a better life.
You were attacked.
Yes, I was attacked.
Okay. Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, it's okay. I get over it now. That's why I don't really feel like coming back.
Okay. I think my other question for you was I can't remember now. But you say you have 2 children, right? That's
Yes.
what I think I want. You just two. Okay. Oh, when you were here, before you even moved away, were you dating like women when you were before you did change?
Oh yes, I was always with women, and that is why some people are okay with the fact that I transitioned, because they knew I was always dating women. I've dated more women than men in my life because I was never into men. I've only maybe had 2 relationships with a man, and it was like practically boring. But people knew I liked girls. They just never knew that I was a man because of how society come across and the way in which society makes it seem once you're born with certain parts, then you are automatically a female. So there was nothing much I could do then. I just had to play along. And for survival too, I was really trapped.
You felt trapped.
I was really trapped. And like I said, for survival, it was hard. If you see the ratio of what is happening in Jamaica with the masculine females or the dominant females, a lot of them sometimes are afraid to go certain places because men tend to want to hurt them. And I've seen many occasions where they were hurt, abused, raped, damaged in different ways, molested physically and sexually. I don't have to go there because you're a part of the star, so you see these things every day in the news. Transgenders have been killed, lesbian studs have been killed, gay men have been killed. When I narrowly escaped death, I booked my flight within 4 days. In 4 days, I was out of the country.
You were 33 then at that time.
I was 33 when I left Jamaica and came to Canada.
I think my last question for you is, for one of the procedures that you'll be doing, the hormonal one, right?
Yes.
You're gonna be doing a hormonal procedure, right?
I have already started the hormone therapy. It's I take it in the form of an injection, where I insert the fluid into my body on a weekly basis. There are different ways in which you can do it. Some people do it every 2 weeks, once a month, once every 3 months. I do it once a week.
What can you elaborate on that procedure? I have always heard about it gives the voice change, and the if the female had a breast, I think it would Can you just elaborate on it for me?
Okay, so from my knowledge and my experience, Kevin's knowledge, Kevin's experience, every person experiences it differently. Uh, for me, my menstrual cycle stopped within the first 2 months of taking the testosterone, never returned. I am now seeing a lot more facial hair. I never had any, and I'm seeing a lot more. It's coming out now. My facial structure has been changed. It's no longer feminine. You can see the difference between the shape of my face. I now have a small beard coming up. I'm having moustache and all of that. My voice is much more deeper than it was at birth or during my last, say, 10 years. My voice is much more deeper. My body is much more masculine because it is changing the feminine side of me. All of my feminine body features are slowly going away and the masculine side is coming. So I could say I'm at 80%, 90% masculine. The 10% is not obvious. So if I don't tell somebody I was born a female, they don't know. And I really don't care to share that unless you're going to be in my bedroom. So only for educational purposes, because I do a lot of motivational talks and educational talks as well as I advocate. So for persons who want to learn, I use my YouTube platform to educate the persons who want to learn. So the features come according to the person, because if you're from a family that doesn't have a lot of facial hair, chances are you might not get a lot, or you might not see it within the first 5 years. If you're from a family with a lot of facial hair, you might see your facial hair coming up within the first 2 years. If you're from a family who doesn't have a deep voice, then chances are you might not get a deep voice, because it works with your what is it, the genetics. So whatever is in your family is in your blood, kind of thing. So you kind of get it somewhat.
So what about like your chest area?
For the
Are
chest,
there any changes?
yes, because for some persons it reduces the size of their breast while you're on the testosterone, and for some persons they do surgery to remove the breast altogether, like I did. I remove it altogether. I did the liposuction, so my chest is now as flat. As much as possible, don't edit my words, because I've seen things published and people have to call back the star, or people are posting on social media to say I did not say that. They took out a sentence, or they took out 2 words and made the sentence flow how they want to do it, like they splice it. And then you were saying you were answering the first question and they splice it and put it in the second question. I really don't want that to happen with this interview, because LGBTQ people, we're a strong body and we try to stick together as much as possible. So I don't want anybody, when they see this interview, think that I put too much out there. I don't have a problem speaking on my platform about anything that my viewers ask me. But your platform that I don't have control over what is last said and what is edited, just let them know I did this interview with you because I'm okay with talking about me, but I don't want the entire community to be judged based on what I said, or what I am going through, or what I did. Because a transgender does not have to do surgery to be a man. Okay. I did my surgery because I want to sync my body with my brain. There are trans persons out there who are okay with the body that they are in, and they act and live as the man they see themselves to be.
Okay, so you're saying that transgenders don't have to change then?
No, they don't have to change their identity. They don't have to change their bodily gender that they were given at birth. They don't have to change the gender they were assigned at birth, but they change their identity. So your identity is different from your gender. I did both practically.
Okay. Alright, well, thanks for clearing that part up, because,
Yes, so in when you're doing the answers for the blurb, you can always just put that in it. Make them know that a transgender doesn't have to do surgeries. They just change their identity.
All right. Thing is that I will be writing the story, so I will write based off of what you say, but I can always speak to the editor. And
yes, people, there you have it. The full story as to who Kevin Konsious Davis is. I hope you like it. For those who don't like it, tough love. I wouldn't even say tough luck. I'll say tough love. Because that's what a lot of you will be showing me in the comment section. I know a lot of you will be showing me a lot of tough love, but it's alright. I get it. I understand. Not here to judge anybody. And I hope you're all not there to judge me either. Until next time, next video on the channel Journey with Kevin. I must say peace out. Walk good. And remember, give love when you can give love. Don't scatter roses after I'm gone. This is me living my truth. My truth doesn't have to be your truth. It's okay if you don't accept me. All I want is for you to tolerate me, because I am a part of the human race and I am also a human being. I bleed the same blood like you. I breathe the same air like you. And I cry the same tears. Be blessed.